I have a new lens, and it's a lot of fun. Now, to say I'm a fan of TTArtisan lenses would be an understatement at best. I have quite a lot of their lenses. I currently own in no particular order, the 35mm f1.4, the 35mm f1.8 autofocus lens. I have the 50mm f1.2, I have the 50mm f1.4 tilty boy. I also have a 7.5mm fisheye lens. There's probably more. So when they emailed me and asked me did I want to try their 100mm f2.8 Bubble Bokeh lens, I of course said yes. Now I've talked about this lens before in a video, I don't know, a year plus ago, but it wasn't my lens. I'd borrowed it, so I didn't really have much time to get a good feel for it, to sort of get to know the lens a little bit and figure out what it could do. And but I have now. I've got my own, so I've been out, I've got some nice shots, so let's have a look at those and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about what this lens is. This TTArtisan 100mm lens has an aperture range of f2.8 to f22. It's designed for full frame cameras but can also be used on APS-C and Micro Four Thirds cameras. This is a fully manual lens, which means manual focus, manual aperture, and there are no electronic connections on the back to give any EXIF data in the camera. The filter thread on the front is 49mm and the closest focusing distance is 0.9 meters or just about 3 feet. It has a very simple design, 3 elements in 3 groups and 13 diaphragm blades to create some really nice round bokeh. This lens has an M42 mount, which means it can be used on any mirrorless camera with an adapter and some DSLRs as well, and also on some older film cameras that have the M42 mount. Now, first and foremost, this is a 100mm f2.8 prime. So it's not just a one-trick pony. The whole Bubble Bokeh thing, as it's marketed, is just one element of this lens. It can be used for whatever you want, really. It's very good as a portrait lens. I've also used it for street stuff, and we'll have a look at some of those shots in just a second. But also, stick some macro tubes on this, and while it's not a macro lens, because it has that minimum focus distance of about 90 centimeters, stick some macro tubes on this. You can get that down to about, I don't know, 20 to 30 centimeters and get a lot closer to your subject and get some really nice images. So yeah, not just a one-trick pony. Now, I think one of the most important things to mention about this lens is the mount, because as you can see, it's a threaded mount. It's an M42 mount, and I think this is a very good idea because that means you can adapt it to any system you have with the use of a simple adapter. Now, I use Sony full frame and APS-C, I use Micro Four Thirds, I also have Canon DSLRs, and I can attach this lens to all of those systems with a simple adapter. Now, if you don't know what these adapters are, this is the Sony one, just a cheap one from Amazon, but they're made of metal, and get the metal ones if you're going to buy them because they're obviously a little bit more robust, and the plastic ones have a tendency to sometimes not seat very well on the mount and such as that. So yeah, these are running between about 20 and 30 pounds depending on where you buy them from and the brand and all that sort of stuff. So this is the adapter that I use for the Canon DSLRs. It is a very thin adapter, doesn't really add any length to the lens, so you're not going to be having like an extra, 2 inches or something like that on the front of a DSLR with this lens. That's all you need, and it works perfectly well on both APS-C and full frame Canon cameras. All right, then let's have a look at some more images and B-roll that I've taken with this lens over the last couple of weeks. Okay, I hope you enjoyed those images. That was the TTArtisan 100mm f2.8 Bubble Bokeh lens. And don't let that marketing confuse you. The Bubble Bokeh is just a feature. This is a very versatile prime, usable for many different types of photography, as you've seen in this video. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. It helps out massively. And if you're interested in this lens, there will be links in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.